recognize the things that people have accomplished over the last year and are looking forward to accomplishing in the future. This is just one of those marvelous occasions where we get to relax, have fun, and give out lots and lots of awards. Yay! And I prepare to step down and hand the reins to the future officers of this district. I'm struck with nostalgia, a little bit of sadness, those wonderful TLIs, the constant flow of work, all those emails, checks, gone. Gosh, how many people went to that TLI 3 weeks ago on Saturday? Was that fantastic? The district, ladies and gentlemen, is in wonderful hands. We have a future, and the future is bright. It's been a long year. We've had some real challenges. We lost almost a dozen clubs fairly early in the year due to corporate layoffs, etc., etc. It has been a struggle. And many of us put in significant time trying to help some of those clubs survive. And in some cases we succeeded, and in some cases we didn't. And I know it's always a real frustration when you put time in and the club folds anyway. And yet that is part of life, and we simply must accept it. And so on behalf of the district and for myself personally, to all the people who put in that effort, irrespective of whether the club grew back or eventually folded, I thank you, the district thanks you, thank you very much. On the district trio has grown over the years. When my mother was district 1, there were 32 clubs in district 31. She could visit them all. And now at approximately 170 clubs, the load is enormous. And to keep these 3 wonderful people sane, not to mention the wife, it is up to us to stand up and help them when they need help, and not merely do what they request us to do directly, but to take responsibility so that they don't have to worry about it. When we say we will do something, we will do it. We will keep them informed. Yes? Yes. We will make your job easier than my job was.
Absolutely.
That's how it works, Johnny. We're going to try. As for myself, I actually will be continuing to work in the district. But as many of you know, I was laid off from MIT last year. And I'm looking forward to going back into teaching. So I will be working in the Cambridge School District over the next year, doing what I like to do the best, which is torturing small children. There's something wonderful about working with kids that just fills me personally with enormous joy, despite I had this 7th grade class. Worst class in the school. They asked me to come in and sub. There were only 14 students. I had a TA, and I needed him. The entire day with this enormous battle. I would get at the front of the class working on something, and an argument would break out at the back, and on and on and on. It's just, aggravating. At one point, I stood up and told some jokes, because I like to tell jokes. Why is 6 afraid of 7? 7, 8, 9. Now then, what did the 0 say when he saw an 8 for the first time? What did the 0 say when he saw an 8? Cool belt. And they don't get that one right off. You're in the class, you're staring at you going like, what? And then one kid in the back will get it. And he'll start laughing, and the kids next to him will, and you can see the laughter spread out over the classroom. And that's what makes it so fun. But so some of the kids said, hey, Mr. Lewis, I'll tell a joke, I'll tell a joke. Fine. So I had 4 or 5 kids come up, they told some jokes, and of course they loved a little bit of freedom and telling some stupid jokes. They are happy. Table topics at work. And then it's back to the grind and work, 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 trying and pushing. And I had them write an essay at the end of class, 20 minutes on this book we had just read. Pulling teeth. 20 minutes of, no, you're not done. I said that you would have 20 minutes of writing. Keep writing. I know you have stuff in your head. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Me and the TA were going around. At the end of class, I read them all. And most of the kids wrote something to the effect of, I would run away from school and then I'd party. I read them all out loud. The kids were laughing. And I was laughing my heads off too. But I said, next time, you're doing it right. And when I came back to the classroom the next week, they did it right. And that is how you work with children. They're not mature, but they're not babies. You treat them with respect. You lean on them sometimes. You make them do things, but you don't insult them while you're doing it. And they will love you for it. And that's what makes all the difference in the world. I was teaching a youth leadership within the district. I had this one 15-year-old girl who was very suspicious of any type of authority. This is why she was homeschooled instead of going to regular school, and she let me know it. I told them that they had to write their speech and have an introduction, 2 minutes, one minute about their pets. She showed up late to class, didn't have an introduction. I told her, okay, you're on number 3, you have 10 minutes writing 2 sentences about your pet, I want an introduction. I didn't insult her, I didn't say anything about her being late. She wrote her introduction, she gave her speech, and she was never late again. And at the end of that class, she came up to me and said, I never do this, and gave me a hug. And it's not because I am some wonderful, sweet guy, it's because I showed some respect, but I made her work, and kids love that. Almost as much as Toastmasters do. So, that is where I am headed in my life. I would like to conclude my little remarks by this wonderful little poem which a fellow that I don't know wrote, but it struck my little heart, so you get to hear it too. What Teachers Make by Taylor Mawley. He says the problem with teachers is, what's a kid going to learn from someone who decided his best option in life was to be a teacher? He reminds the other dinner guests that it's true what they say about teachers. Those who can do, those who can't teach. I decided to bite my tongue instead of his. And to resist the temptation to remind the other dinner guests that what they say about lawyers is also true. Because we're eating after all, this is polite company. I mean, you're a teacher, Taylor, he says. Be honest, what do you make? You want to know what I make? I make kids work harder than they ever thought they could. I make a C+ set feel like a Congressional Medal of Honor and an A- feel like a slap in the face. How dare you waste my time with anything less than your very best? You want to know what I make? I make kids wonder, I make them question, I make them criticize, I make them apologize and mean it, and I make them write and write and write, and then I make them read, and I make them show all their work in math and hide it on their drafts in English. Let me break it down to you so you know what I say is true. I make a difference. What about you?